Okay, so I'm gonna show my steps on drawing faces. Okay, so start with a circle, then a line. This is what I call guidelines. So the center line, this is the center line. And I'm freestyling it. You can also use straight lines, whatever. Rulers to make straight lines if you want to, but I freestyle it. So that's the center line, and then I do another line across. Do another line across. This is what I call the eye line. Then from the eye line, right here, I go down and I make the jaw line. Just go down from the eye line point and curve it. It's like a curved L. Then two circles for the eyes. Triangle for the nose. You put a line underneath the nose just for guidelines. Extend the lines out. I'll show that later. Put a line right here for the mouth line. And then ovals for the ears. You see, I put the ears between the eye line and the nose line, you know. And I basically got my guidelines for a face. Now I could really shape it out, extend the top of the head, extend the jawline. You see, I'm just sketching out. Now, if I was doing this on paper, I would have a lighter pencil. I would try to use a lighter pencil. Um, so then I could easily erase it. But when I'm on the tablet, I could just lighten it up like that. The opacity, you know. Then I could add a little neck. They're like L's. It's like an L shape, but curved out. Depending on male or female, we kind of use the neck to really describe a male or female. Female necks will be a little bit thinner. Male necks will be wider. This is a average neck right here. But if I were to do, let me see. Um, Let me just use a different color. So I could use the male neck to go outside. It lets you know also either maturity or how much more mass or muscle you can extend out. You know, female would be let me use blue. You go thinner. You go thinner, so you want to go thinner for the female, but we're going to keep it on balance. Want to keep it balanced. So now that I have the base, the base of the head, the skeleton head, the guidelines, then I could really just shape out what I want on top of it. Go back to my black. You can shape out what I want on top of it what type of eyes. See, this process you could really just get real sketchy and everything because this is the sculpting process, type of nose. See, the nose could be interchangeable. You could use a triangle, you could use square, you could use circle, just depending on, what type of nose you're looking to get, because there's all type of shapes. Then you could do lips. The thicker the lips symbolize more the melanated in groups of people, or it symbolizes females. They have thicker lips, supposed to have thicker lips, but you could do either lips, so. And I'll show the different lips and everything right now, just shaping. You see how I'm just bringing what I want. You got different eyebrows you want to bring. These are normal eyebrows. Eyebrows that are normal just pretty much stand, straight forward above the eyes. No expression. It's like make my eyebrows thick on the inner side and then thinned out to the outer side. Nose notch out in the center and then kind of scoop around, to make the ears. And the dividing line right here is just so, when I get one side good, and normally I'm always working on this side first, I'm trying to match this side, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which side you work on, but you're trying to, what side you like best, you're trying to emulate on the other side. Now, when you're working with computers or tablets, whatever, they have geometrical tools that help you with that process. But right now, I'm just eyeballing it. I'm just eyeballing it. So this process, what I'm doing now, is just shaping like where I'm going to and what I'm trying to, accomplish and get a look. And all these guidelines, all the lines are just guidelines just to keep balance, because you have a right and a left, and the right and the left are similar to each other. They have a similar, it's they're pretty much, you have a dual system, but they look alike, even though it's right and left. I don't know if I'm explaining that good enough. So now, I'm pretty much shaped out an image, put, next lineage details. And this is more of an American style art. Anime is a little bit simplified, I believe. A little bit more simplified. I put a little shadow in there. I'm just fleshing out, details and everything. So right now, this could go either way, as male or female. So it's unisex right now. Eyelids, I always do my eyelids from inner to out, midway. I don't go all the way to the edge. I just go midway. And then thicken up the top of the eyelid, representing the eyelashes. For males, it's just thickening it. For females, you can extend it out. You can put lashes. Once you put lashes on, then we pretty much are saying this is the female gender. Okay. And with the eyes, you want to put black pupils in the eyes. Black pupils. Mm. Now, the way you age them, you could age by putting, what do they call it? Eye bags under the eyes, just extending lines underneath, going halfway, almost like the eyelids at top, but you just put them at the bottom of the eyes, and then you put some nose creases extending from the nose, the nostrils on each side. You just put creases that shows a little bit of age and everything. But you could take those away, and it just makes it, you younger. You know, now you get a younger look. Completely away, you get an even more younger look, taking away those lines and everything. So now you got a face with the you got to think, do you want hair? So if you want hair, you just got to figure out what type of hair you want, and then you put it over. It's like putting a wig on. You put it over there. You know. So you can have it swoop down. You have one side swoop down. You can have one side swoop down, and then the other side kind of goes upward. It's all up to you. All right, so now that I got like a base of how I want this, so that's the straightforward, um, face is straightforward. So if I was penciling, I would hope, I would try to pencil it real light because I'm going to be seeing those. But since I'm using my tablet, which I'm using the Galaxy Tab S6 right now, and I'm using IBS X Paint or Paint X, one of those, as the app. So I create another layer. If I'm using pencil and paper, of course, I'm just hoping that, my pencils are light enough, my pencil sketches are light enough, because I know that I'm going to have to come and erase. But now it's time to actually put the lines that I want, the dominant lines, the actual lines that I want to use. You can start anywhere on the face, but sometimes I like to. For me, I always like to start with the nose and the mouth. I don't know, Sometimes, a lot of times, I do start with the eyes, but it really doesn't matter where you start, because you pretty much already have the guidelines set, where you want to go um, with your drawing. So it doesn't matter. Just go with where you feel like you want to go. So I like those eyes. I don't like that. I like my eyes where they're like either lemon shapes or thinned out. Sometimes you could do eyes to where they have partial breaks in them and everything, which is fine with partial breaks like this, you know. And you see I'm using the guidelines, so it's pretty much straight, and I'll probably like dip into it to pinch it down. But like I was saying, you could use, you know, sometimes you could have partial breaks in the eyes, which is fine and everything. But because I'm using a tablet, I like to use my paint bucket tool to paint. So if you have any open space, it'll fill in that space and everything, which, you know, you can still work with if you want to keep open spaces. It's just that you got to, you know, go back in and cut in, and you'll see when I get to that point and everything. But right now we're working on a line art. Then I'm going to show you after the line art. I'm going to show you my paint process. So I'm breaking down my tablet process, but at the same time, this applies to pencil and paper. It's just with pencil and paper, you know, you're doing everything all at once. You don't have layers. You gotta, you know, map those layers out. You gotta sketch lightly. Then you gotta use your pencils to put your permanent lines. Then you gotta do your ink, and then you color, or you color and then ink. You just gotta map it out. Anyway, let's continue. So I'm gonna have the eyes closed in. And like I said, you know, they got a symmetrical tool that will allow you to, on tablets, that will allow you to actually, you know, copy and everything. I got the paper on sideways. I don't know. Never mind. I'm gonna take that off. We'll deal with that stuff later. Um, because you know, in programs, you still learn. You know, you still learn these programs. They got so many tools that you can learn and everything. So, um, but I'll show you that later. Putting the eyelids, like I said, you know, going up and just going half midway, um, the eyes and everything, and the eyeballs. And see what you're trying to do is you're trying to, whatever side that you start your drawing, whatever side you started on, you want to try to mimic that same on the other side and everything. All right. And the eyebrows. Eyebrows is, I just swoop them. You know, I don't know how else to explain it. You know, just swoop them. And you could put a little extra notches right there. We're gonna fill those in later. Like I said, you know, take that back. Just go back over the top lid and just make it a little thicker. Try to cover around it as smooth as possible. Get that, because drawing to me is all about energy. Then you could extend the lashes out over that thick line, just to give understanding that she has thick eyelashes, mascara or something on. You know, the bottom eyelid is thinner. Sometimes you could thin it out. You could thick it out. You could have a little thick line right at the edge, but you want to try to keep it as thin, you know, thinner at the bottom lashes than the top. And you just scoop lines out, you know, following the eyelashes, just scoop them out. You know, don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's why you got the eraser tool. That's why you got the the backspace tools, to go over. Just keep going over until you get what you're looking for. Okay. So now I got the interfaces and everything. I'm going to start with the outer edge. Um, I like to I like to start from the jawline up and then extend out to the ears. And I always like to have a break right here and then keep that notch out, curve in, you know. So I do my ears. I just came up with methods where, everybody's ears, might be different and everything. But I just came up with a universal earlobe thing to where, I could just apply it to all ears because everybody knows that that's an ear, and everybody's not looking in the ear just saying, "Ooh, his ear's not," because everybody's ear gonna be different. So you can't judge ears like that, unless I'm doing a drawing that's supposed to be an exact replica of how somebody else looks. Then I'll probably do the ear, but then I'll probably just keep the same ear, just keep pressing along. You see, I'm just keep on going over this jaw, and it's okay to turn the paper around, try to get right, but I'm going over the jaw line because I'm just trying to get it to look just like the other side as much as possible. I keep on thinking, I feel like it keeps on widening out. It doesn't. And then, you can't get stuck on something for too long. You gotta be satisfied at one point and just be like, okay, it's good enough, it's close enough, you know. Because even though we're pretty much, the right and left pretty much similar looking, they still have their little differences. They're still not completely even. So that's a reality. But, the closer it gets, the better it looks. Okay, I think that's pretty good. This is nobody that I know at all. I'm just drawing, and this is just how it's coming out. Give it a little neckline. A little notch. I'm just adding extras, bring it out some more. Okay, this is looking pretty good. So now I had the main face, and instead of extending going all the way to the head, doing the head, I already know where I want their hair, and now I can fill in the hair without having the head. And see, with the hair, you don't have to try to be perfectly on the same lines that you drew, depending on how you made your hair, but hair is always a wavy, moving type of situation. So you just want to just go with the guidelines. Where you see, this is where the split would be on the hair, and then I just made some lines showing that the hair follicles going upward into the hair and everything, and then this side is where the hair continues on and everything like that. or hair, you want to try to make it a flow. It's like water. You know what I mean? Trying to just flow with the curve that you make. You try to make individual curves of its own, but flow with the same direction as the rest of the hair. So, you got all type of styles of hair and everything. So you pick your hair, what styles you want. Okay, so that's the basic steps. You could round off the eyes a little bit more if you want to, in order to get the little eye wedge where that, I don't know the name, the eye wedge where you got the eye crust that goes in there. You know, you get a little bit more detail. You know what I mean? You could put little aging lines, if you want to. Make it a little bit more mature, which is fine. All right, so you get to this stage, then you want to either deselect the bottom layer or erase your sketch lines. And now you got, and see, this would probably be a pencil, but and I'm using the pencil tool, but since it's already a nice solid line and everything, I'm, as far as I'm on the tablet, I've already done my inking. Then what I mean. I don't feel like I gotta go and ink and everything. Sometimes I could take these lines. This is how I like my style. It's just more like straight lines. Sometimes you go in and you could go over that, and you could go over your drawing, and depending on how you want your ink lines, you could ink it, and you could get thicker lines, thin to thick. This is just more time consuming. But it's like you want thin and thick, so you put the thick really goes on the edges, and then it's thin when you go for the long stretch, and then when you get to the turns, you want thick out. So thick, thin. Yeah. That's more of a skill though, so that's why. I mean, it's cool, and it brings the drawing out a little bit more. And I think either way it goes, it's still fine. Okay, let's fast forward and everything. So now I'm looking at my drawing and everything, and I'm just expecting it to see what else that I want on there. See if I need to refine anything. If you like me, I pretty like much just like good with this. Some people want to go in and they could put like black shadows and everything. I do my shadows through my coloring for the most part. And I'm really just checking to see if there's any breakages that I know that I'm going to have to connect because I use paint tools a lot. And one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the lock in the neck and everything, because I already know that it's going to ask me. See, that's a breakage. If I fill that in with paint right here, paint will go all out. So I just close that in. All right. So um, let me create another layer. And after I created another layer, then this is what I call flats. And I work with a lot of flats more than I do any more toning and everything. I do flats, and then I do a little bit of toning. That's how I like my style. So I go into my paint tool, Pick what color I want to have. Let's use that shade right there. And I do most of my filling with my paint bucket because it just makes my workflow much quicker. Just fill it on in. Whatever wide spots I could get that filled in, I'm going to fill it in. Normally nostrils I do, make it black, but All right. Hair, just do that color. Hair. Eyebrows, I'm a little bit darker. Eyebrows are normally always black, but I'm gonna make it brown. And then eyeballs. So I go in and I'm just really just getting all the huge areas, wide areas colored in, with the paint bucket. And then after I get that done, I'll go in and I'll use my pencil tool to get the little finer parts that I wasn't able to reach with the paint bucket. You know. And since I'm working with my layer underneath, I won't run into any problems messing up the line art. So let me deselect the paint bucket, and now I could just go in with my pencil tool and get all these white marks that were left behind. Like right here. You can widen up your brush so you can cover more space and everything too. So there we go. I use the paint selector to just go in and out of which, go back and forth with, where I need the color at and everything. Because I'm always seeing little spots I probably missed and all that. You see those little spots, paint selector, and get them colored in. That's when you really want to refine, get that, see that. There you go. See how you keep on missing. Sometimes you gotta get real close to your image just to see where you missed out and everything. Sometimes with the eyelids, you just go get black and color that in. Go back to the paint bucket. Get that little pinkish. I like to not just leave anything completely white, so I fill those eyes in, fill the teeth in. It's everybody knows it's white. All right, so now that I have my flats, this is what you call flats, then I'll go and I'll create another layer, and then I'll tone that down to 30. Keep mine already mid-20s to 30%. Get the black, and once again I'll fill anything with wide areas with the paint bucket. So I'll fill the neck in, and then pretty much that's all I could fill in with the paint bucket. So I'll deselect the paint bucket, use my pencil tool, and then I'll just, depending on where the light source is coming from, If it's coming from the top, you'll have shades coming from the bottom of your object or of your person. So if it's coming from the top, I'm shading the lips. Underneath the nose will be shaded. If it's coming from the bottom, that means it's going the opposite direction and you just reverse it. If it's coming from the side, same thing. Reverse, reverse, reverse. Shading's not my biggest thing, but you know, these are techniques just to get me by. Shading the ears. What I try to do is I put shade to where it's almost like a distant thing. You know, the eyes are normally sunken in from the rest of the face, so the shade is gonna, you know, identify. You're gonna make that where you identify that the eyes are more sunken in to the face. And just go around the eyes. Since it got hair swooping down the eyes, you want to put a little shadow underneath the hair. Little shadow and that hair from the inside is underneath too. So anything that's underneath something should cast a shadow, should have a shadow cast over it. That's why I pretty much blacked that, shaded the whole neck and everything. Widen up my tool and, you know, to cover some bigger areas, and I'll just do the back of the hair. So I'm shading this just to show that the hair, this is going to the back and this is the front, you know, going to the back. And if you don't like some of the shading parts, you just get to your eraser tool and erase, erase out the parts you don't like. Make sure that you're not over erasing, so you don't erase things you do like. Okay. And then you just switch back to your pencil tool and continue to, work out where you want your colors. Okay. All right. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Put shading right there across the eyes. Hey, where did my, I must have deselected my pink right there. And put shades on the eyes. See how the eye shades. And then with the eyes, I'll add a layer on top of everything, even the line art. I'll add a layer because with the eyes, it's just real simple. You use your pencil tool, select white, and you put white circle. That kind of cuts into the eyes, the eye pupil, and the eyeball itself. You can either put one or you could put two. That's kind of off center, but it's a smaller one. And depending on which direction you want to go, you do like that. And it just makes the eyeball, shine more. I don't like the direct center. I like it off. For one, yeah, I like that. One big one, one small one. And it's because it's coming from the same light source, they all sit the same way for the next eye. All right. There you go. And I think the only thing I would do for this quick one is go back to my shadowing and select my eraser, because I don't want the neck to be totally blacked out. I need to have the separate. See, when you have that light right there, the light source, and now that looks better. You could do just partial, just a partial if you wanted to, and just have the pits of your neck, of your collarbone shaded in, or you could have it completely gone if you want to. It's up to you. I like that effect right there, so that's where I'm going to keep that. And that is the face tutorial on how I do it, my workflow. What am I trying to do now? And the only thing else left to do is, anytime you complete a piece of art, I don't care what it is, sketch, whatever, it's always good to sign it and date it, so then you know. So then you could go back and just, know where you was at when you were drawing. So you don't need that thicker. And like I said, sign it, date it. Come with your own unique style. This is SP, and we're in 2023. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. All right, that's it. I'll have another one. I'll do another one where it goes different directions. It's not straightforward.